You ever hear of the Albanian Mafia? They don't make a big show of themselves, not like some. They prefer to operate in the shadows, but those shadows stretch far. From the rugged mountains of Albania itself to the bustling streets of London, Berlin, even New York City, their presence is felt. They're like ghosts, these guys. You don't see them coming until it's too late. They're known for being ruthless and efficient. Loyalty is paramount, silence is golden, and betrayal, well, let's just say it's not good for your health. They're involved in all sorts of rackets, drugs, weapons, human trafficking, you name it. If there's money to be made, they'll find a way. But what makes them truly dangerous is their ability to blend in. They're masters of disguise, moving effortlessly between the underworld and legitimate society. One minute they're shaking hands with politicians, the next they're ordering a hit. It's enough to make you wonder who you can really trust. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. But in the world of the Albanian Mafia, bullets speak louder than words. And believe me, they've got plenty of both. To understand the Albanian Mafia, you gotta understand Albania. This small yet resilient country has a rich tapestry of history and culture that has shaped its people in profound ways. It's a small country in the Balkans, nestled between Greece, Montenegro, Kosovo, and North Macedonia. Its strategic location has made it a crossroads of civilizations for millennia. With a history as old and complex as a plate of burek, Albania's story is one of survival and adaptation. The layers of its past are as intricate as the layers of this beloved dish. For centuries, it was ruled by outsiders, Ottomans, Italians, you name it. Each conqueror left their mark, but none could break the spirit of the Albanian people. This bred a culture of resistance, of looking out for your own. The constant struggle against foreign domination instilled a fierce sense of independence and self-reliance. See, in Albania, family is everything. It's the cornerstone of society, the bedrock upon which all else is built. Family ties are not just about blood relations, they encompass a broader sense of community and mutual support. It's not just about blood, it's about loyalty, honor, and vengeance. These values are deeply ingrained in the Albanian psyche, shaping interactions and relationships. For generations, blood feuds, known as jakmarja, were a way of life. These feuds could last for decades, with entire families caught in a cycle of retribution. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This ancient code of vengeance was not just a personal matter, it was a societal norm, a way to maintain balance and justice. It was brutal, but it was the law of the land. The concept of personal honor was paramount, and any slight or wrongdoing had to be avenged to restore one's dignity. Then you had the canon, an ancient code of conduct that governed everything from hospitality to murder. This set of traditional laws was passed down orally for generations before being codified in the 15th century. It was like their own version of the Ten Commandments, with a little more emphasis on revenge. The Kanun dictated every aspect of life, from how to treat guests to how to settle disputes. These traditions, forged in the crucible of hardship, created a society where violence was not just accepted but expected. The harsh realities of life in the mountains and the constant threat of invasion shaped a people who were tough, resourceful, and fiercely loyal. So when communism fell in the early 90s, it left a power vacuum. The collapse of the regime brought chaos and uncertainty, but also opportunities for those willing to seize them. And guess who stepped in? Those who had always operated on the fringes of society, who knew how to navigate the shadows and exploit the system. Guys who knew how to operate outside the law, who understood the value of loyalty and the price of betrayal. These were men who had honed their skills in the art of survival and were ready to take advantage of the new order. Guys who weren't afraid to use violence to get what they wanted. They had the muscle, the connections, and the ruthlessness to carve out their own empires in the chaos. In other words, the perfect breeding ground for organized crime. The Albanian Mafia emerged from this turbulent period, drawing on centuries of tradition and a deep-seated culture of loyalty and retribution to become one of the most formidable criminal organizations in the world. Now, the Albanian Mafia ain't like those old-school Italian outfits with a strict hierarchy and a don at the top. They're more decentralized, operating in independent cells spread across the globe. Think of it like a franchise operation. Each cell has its own territory, its own boss, but they all share the same brand, the same ruthless efficiency. They started small, these Albanian crews, smuggling cigarettes, running guns, that sort of thing, but they were smart, ambitious. They saw the fall of the Iron Curtain not as a tragedy, but as an opportunity, and they seized it with both hands. They established footholds in Western Europe, taking advantage of the open borders and the influx of refugees. Italy, Germany, Belgium, the UK, they were everywhere. They muscled in on existing criminal enterprises, offering their services, undercutting the competition. And let me tell you, these guys, they were good at what they did. They were reliable, discreet, and they always delivered. Word got around. Soon they were running drugs for the Colombians, moving guns for the Russians, even trafficking women for the sex trade. The Albanian Mafia had arrived, and they weren't going anywhere. Section 4. The Devil's Portfolio: Drugs, Guns, and Human Cargo. The Albanian Mafia, they're like the Walmart of organized crime. They have their hands in everything from petty crimes to elaborate international operations. Need a kilo of cocaine? They're your guys. Looking for a new Glock? No problem. Want a young bride smuggled in from Eastern Europe? They can arrange that too. Their specialty is the drug trade, dominating the market with ruthless efficiency. They control a significant chunk of the heroin that flows into Europe, coming in from Afghanistan through the Balkan route. Human trafficking is perhaps the most heinous of their crimes, preying on the most desperate and vulnerable. All they care about is the bottom line. Profit is their only concern. Law enforcement agencies are constantly working to dismantle their operations, but it's a daunting task. In the face of such darkness, there is still hope. Communities come together to rebuild, showing resilience and strength, and sometimes justice is served. These victories are a testament to the ongoing fight against organized crime. Section 5. An eye for an eye, vengeance, Albanian style. Now, let's say you're foolish enough to cross the Albanian Mafia. This isn't just any criminal organization, it's a deeply rooted network with a long history of ruthlessness and precision. Maybe you welched on a deal thinking you could outsmart them or get away with it. Maybe you talked to the cops, believing that the law could protect you from their reach. Or maybe, just maybe, you looked at one of their guys the wrong way. A simple glance that could seal your fate. Whatever the reason, you've made a powerful enemy. An enemy that operates in the shadows with eyes and ears everywhere. See, these guys, they don't forget, and they don't forgive. Their memories are long and their patience is infinite. They live by a code of honor and vengeance that goes back centuries. This isn't just about crime, it's about tradition, about maintaining a legacy. They call it Besa, and it's as unbreakable as a diamond. Besa is a pledge of honor, a promise that binds them to their word no matter the cost. If you wrong them, they will seek retribution. It's not just a possibility, it's a certainty. It's not a matter of if, but when. They can wait for the perfect moment, striking when you least expect it. They might start small, a warning shot, a brick through your window. These are just the opening moves in a much larger game, but if you don't get the message, things can escalate quickly. The tension builds, the stakes get higher. We're talking car bombs, drive-by shootings, the whole 9 yards. They have the resources and the will to go to extreme lengths. They're not afraid to use violence to make an example of you, and the worst part, their reach extends far beyond you. They don't just come after you. They go after your family, your friends, anyone you hold dear. No one is safe from their wrath. They want to make you suffer, to break you from the inside out. It's a psychological warfare designed to dismantle your life piece by piece. They want to see you in distress, to watch you crumble under the weight of fear and anxiety. It's not just about physical harm, it's about mental torment. It's a cold, calculating kind of cruelty, the kind that is meticulously planned and executed with precision, the kind that stays with you long after the deed is done. The scars they leave are not just on the body, but on the soul. This is vengeance, Albanian style.